If your GTM strategy still looks like it did in 2020, you're already losing. Buyers have AI, competitors have AI. The only real question is, do you? Now, if you're like any of the salespeople I've spoke to in the past 3 months, you've probably already seen everything AI, everything GTM. There's a million different things you can do. You're probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed. In this video, I'm going to go through the 5 key pillars of GTM that will either make or break your business. So let's start with number 1, email infrastructure. If you are using and sending from your main domain, you are putting your company reputation at risk. You can use tools like Instantly or AIleadgen, and they'll spin up subdomains for you that will essentially warm those domains and protect your main domain health. So if you're spinning up subdomains, it's super important that you get your settings right. So things such as your DKIM, your SPF, your DMARC settings, there's a crazy amount of different things that you have to get right. If you do not get this right, it's kind of like posting something without an address or posting something when that address is completely wrong. But then we're also kind of getting into the data side, which brings me to our next point. Okay, so number 2. Data validation and data quality. This sounds super boring, but guess what? If you're not validating your data, you are essentially just burning all your bridges. Say goodbye to those leads, say goodbye to those follow-ups. They won't exist. You may have had the experience of where you've got on the phone to someone. They've told you to send them an email to follow up. So suddenly you get an incorrect email, delivery unsuccessful. This isn't just bad for you, but it's bad for that domain we were speaking about. So you're actually burning your reputation. The higher your connection rate, in terms of emails, how many are landing, the more optimized you are for success. You should be checking this before ever going through a list. So I'm going to drop in the description a couple of the tools that are really powerful for email validation and enrichment. Check out AIleadgen. We'll do the whole process for you on autopilot. Number 3, your targeting and your ICP. In 2025, you need to be as specific as possible. So have a look at your client base. Have a look at why did they buy from you? What were the pain points that they actually experienced? And who the hell were you actually talking to at that company? Was it the marketing director? Was it the CMO? Was it the marketing executive? Or was it even just someone completely random that managed to introduce you to the company? If so, have a look at this data. It will really guide you and know where you want to go. The first place you start is you look at those companies you're working with. You map the industries, the location, the revenue range, the employee size, and then you map the individual personas. So who is actually a decision maker? Who's pulling the trigger on this deal within that company? Maybe we had some champions within this. So as I said, you might have had a marketing exec that introduced you to the CMO later down the pipeline. So what we'd probably do is put all of our effort or majority of our effort into those CMOs or directors who are going to be able to make that decision. We'll try and run a smaller amount on those champions as well. Number 4, signals, intent, triggers, whatever you want to call them. I like to call them triggers because they trigger some kind of emotion within the buyer when you're selling to them. If you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, feel free to pause the video, check out the 51 buying signals I put below. But if you do, hold on because there's a whole load more value just about to come. So I amalgamated 51 different buying signals that actually are really powerful when you're doing your outreach or research. If you are going through and reaching out to an account or mapping out that list, you're going to be looking for relevant triggers that are going to say or indicate that a person may be willing to use your solution. So a really good example that a lot of people like to use is the funding. Have they received capital investment in the last 6 months that could indicate that they have cash to buy? But are you qualifying that they actually are in market for your product? That's a completely different ballgame, and one that a lot of people are chasing is funding. So I try and steer clear of funding. An example that I like to use is something along the lines of something that's publicly available on LinkedIn or on the web. You can do this manually. You can go online, you can go through and follow the process of check out the company website, check out any news articles, search their name, use ChatGPT. You can really go deep into this, check their LinkedIn account. My favorite ones at the moment are ones that basically have a contact level. So has this individual posted, liked, or engaged with anything that's similar to what we're trying to sell to them? Whether that's a competitor's post, whether that they've just posted something about the space, they've attended a webinar. If you can find the contact level, you're in a gold mine. If you can't, on the other hand, I would go to a company level and look at something like hiring or changes in job roles or company announcements. A lot of companies will be saying and announcing what their next moves are, what their next goals or objectives are. Things like digital transformation or innovation. They're going to really be posting about this because they want the world to know how great they're doing. Now you just need to take this information and apply it to why you guys can actually fit in and help them achieve the goal. Okay, so pillar number 5, let's jump straight into it. It's probably my favorite of them all because it's the most fun one to play around with. So what we're talking about here, we're talking about copy, email copy, LinkedIn copy, personalization, and the channels you're using. Those are the two we normally see the most value with when you're looking at GTM. But of course, cold calling still has its presence. I'm never going to say it doesn't. Normally what you want is a cold call alongside these methods. So where do you start when you're looking at changing or generating the right kind of copy? Always look at what that research you found was. So you've got your ICP, you've now done the research on them. Which triggers did you find? Now start mapping that out and go, okay, so the majority of the companies in the X sector, let's say manufacturing sector, struggled with warehouse operations. So now break down, okay, we see this many posts about this, we see announcements about this. But you want to keep your email copy super brief. I'd say a maximum of 100 characters, 100 words, 4 lines. Just keep it super snappy. Try to be casual, but also be aware of who you're speaking to. The way you're going to write these emails is going to vary slightly. The financial director is going to care about different problems that you guys can solve than the HR director. They're going to care about the cash. They're going to care about the people. The way that these people receive these emails and actually take in information is also going to be different. So you may want to be sharp and snappy with some. You may want to be soft, fluffy, and playful with others. Now, that's completely up to you and how you play and what you see work. But for me, I always try and keep everything a little bit snappy nowadays, a little bit to the point, and I always try and back it up with social proof. On that note, social proof should always be your closer. You should always back up why someone should be speaking to you with social proof, saying you've done it for someone else, you can replicate these effects, or just offer that insight that you understand their space in their industry. The more relevant the case study, the better. Okay, so some of you are going to be saying to me now,
But we don't get replies when we do that. We just get nothing. We're just sending and sending and sending. Email outreach doesn't work.
maybe it doesn't for you yet. One thing to really think about is how are you teasing the reply? Are you actually earning the right or being a little bit cheeky in the way that you're asking for that reply? Your CTA is super important. Often what we'll do is we'll tease a reply based on the fact that we have some infographics or we have some sort of value offer or lead magnet that then we'll ask for a reply. So what we're doing here is we're going out and saying, we built this matrix for you specifically, and if you reply, then we'll send it over to you. Or would you mind if I send it over to you? They often say, yes, everyone loves free stuff. You're leading with value. You've spotted a problem they have and you're solving it for free, partially. Now, when they get that first bit of value, if what you're sending is valuable, then you have a reason to expand upon that and say, look, I understand the problem. I've sent you this. Let's move into a discovery call. Let's talk about how we can fix this full time. You clearly have the issue and it will end in a happy world. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it there. My name's Cam. If you found anything valuable from today, all I ask is you hit that subscribe button. As mentioned, there's a load of resources below. If you haven't checked them out already, feel free. If you get stuck with any of these pillars, always start from the beginning. Do not layer AI on top. Start testing, start growing, start scaling, but do it in a very strategic and smart way. That's my main advice. That's my bonus tip. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.